Why do we love animals? Because they're beautiful. They're funny. They're authentic.
Oh, this is a happy moment.
They have personalities that resemble ours. And they don't take more from the planet than they need.
That's one happy rhino.
Like we do. And as we do, we deplete the food source, the habitats, and the numbers of animals.
What does it say of us as a generation if we can't save a species as big as this?
But more and more people around the globe are helping reverse the damage. They show us the best version of ourselves.
I never in my wildest dreams imagined that by dancing around a ballroom, I would be able to educate them on conservation.
I'm trying to teach Bindi to be a wildlife warrior.
As they lead the charge to a harmonious future between animals and humans, above and below the sea.
G'day, I'm Bindi Arwen, and this here is Little Fatty, and we are wildlife warriors, and we're tapping in.
We're tapping in.
Hi, I'm Shannon Elizabeth from Animal Avengers, and I'm tapping in.
We're tapping in.
I'm Linda Swain. As co-founder of one of the world's leading travel companies, I've spanned the globe in search of the happiest people.
Such nice smiles.
And places around the world for my work. Now join me on a trip to happiness.
We're tapping in.
Now I'm seeing clearly. Happiness is near me. I can feel the power. Stronger by the hour. I'm taking a trip to happiness. I'm tap, 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 tap. I'm tapping in. I'm tapping in.
Let's begin in the island continent, in Queensland, Australia. Here in Birwa, I met up with their first family of conservation, Terry, Bindi,
Crikey!
and Robert Irwin, who channels his dad,
Crikey!
the late great Steve Irwin, the crocodile hunter.
He had that sixth sense. So
The Irwins welcomed me into their home, the Australia Zoo, with open arms, filled with Jenny.
She's a beautiful Burmese python. Isn't she incredible?
She's beautiful and she's white with speckles.
Exactly. She lost her color, and you can see that she has this beautiful white color, but what came back were all of these gorgeous black spots. So we love her very much because of that.
Well, I think she's your favorite, right, Terry?
she's my favorite snake. I wasn't a real snake person when I first came to Australia.
For rounding up crocodiles with Steve, no problem.
Steve used to sit me down with a big boa constrictor, but of course, they're not venomous.
I feel safe, except what happens down here at the tail end.
Well, at some point after a hearty meal.
But you're safe
Here,
for now.
Bindi, I'll trade you spots.
Every spot on this 1,500 acres devoted to conservation is a chance to really connect with animals from all over the world, and in many different ways.
If you would like to grab some of that food on your hand, yes.
Okay.
So she's an echidna, and an echidna loves to eat things like ants and termites. So this mixture of
So I'm
food,
holding ants and termites.
pretty much. It's kind of a mix of...
how
It's
lovely.
What she does is she buries herself in the ground, and then she pokes all of these spikes up. So no animal wants to eat just this spiky mass.
So tickling. I'm
leave
sorry,
her
but
alone.
this is really tickling. It's so funny.
It's so much fun though.
And she loves you because her spikes are very, very low.
Echidnas are my all-time favorite animals.
You're actually experiencing something very soulful with them.
Yeah, absolutely. So you know how ants crawl around when it gets a bit rainy?
Do you love bull ants?
Yep.
Are they your friends?
Yep.
Do they bite you a little bit?
Yeah.
But does it matter?
No.
I would stand there all day in the pouring rain telling people to walk over the ant line just so that we wouldn't lose a single ant life. So
Why do they bite?
Because they're scared.
That's right, bull ants bite when they're scared. Did he bite you?
Nah.
and I will continue for the rest of my life to try really hard to carry on in Dad's legacy in his footsteps.
But I'm trying to teach Bindi to be a wildlife warrior and love all wildlife.
I never in my wildest dreams imagined that by wearing sequins and high heels and dancing around a ballroom, I would be able to reach out to nearly 15 million Americans every week and educate them on conservation.
Every day here, the resident wildlife are keen to help educate thousands of visitors about the human-animal bond. Bindi sings animal songs, of course. and dances with her professional team and gets everyone rocking in the Crocoseum. While the other professionals at the zoo practice a routine among the kangaroos, which will not be seen on Dancing with the Stars. And we'll get to those famous Irwin Crocs. But all of this is about building a closer connection to animals, which is an Irwin trademark from the beginning with Steve and Terry. And I have never felt more connected to the Irwins than right now.
And she'll smell what's going on with that tongue. And they like interacting. It's so special.
They like interacting with Robert, right? Oh, there she goes.
Isn't she gorgeous? But it's so nice for people to have the opportunity to come here and get to know animals they might not know.
And some you do.
Very good.
She smells like eucalyptus.
She does. She smells kind of like a cough drop. It's very special.
You just want to know what it feels like to touch them.
And I think, too, when you hold them and feel them and smell them, it makes you want to help them.
Oh, this is little Morgan.
Help them and heal them.
He was actually attacked by a dog.
The Australia Zoo has treated more animals in their hospital than in any other hospital of its kind in the world.
We started off obviously just with a few hundred animals a year, and it skyrocketed up to sort of 6,000 to 7,000 plus.
What is the biggest problem for these animals?
Biggest problem is humans, unfortunately. So cars.
No kidding.
Yeah, cars on the road, the domestic pets that we keep.
And the barriers we build that block animals from passing.
Very small little nest in there as well. Birds is our largest intake, but certainly we see a lot of koalas, kangaroos, quite large sea turtles as well.
Oh, do you have any sea turtles on the premises?
Not at the moment.
Well, that's good that they're not being hurt.
And all of this funded by the Australia Zoo.
We rely on donations effectively. There's no one else paying for this.
So cute. Well, my father was a doctor, so I'm feeling that urge
the nurturing.
to stitch something.
Yeah.
No.
And as for stitching,
We find people, particularly in the fashion industry, meet someone like Jenny and say, oh, we need to be responsible about not using animal products like wildlife in the fashion industry.
or wildlife for any industry. Amazing to interact with a very hungry white rhino.
It's DJ time.
He's beautiful.
He's like a 2.2-ton puppy dog.
And because this 2.2-ton puppy dog has a horn, he would not be safe in the wild.
So we've got two out the back here that you can see. We've got a very successful breeding program here, which is phenomenal for educational purposes. Where our money and our focus goes is on their rhino conservation.
Up next, a secret location.
This is unbelievable.
Actress and activist Shannon Elizabeth joins the mad rush to save rhinos, soaring to one of the 7 wonders of the world.
It's an excellent day for it, that's for sure.
And diving to see it thriving. And we'll tackle the Irwin's passion for Crocs.
I'm tapping in. I'm tapping in.
We're in the Timbabody in South Africa, and we're horning in on happiness. Right, Elvis?
Yes.
This is where you can find the eye candy of South Africa. Roaming, running, resting, and bathing.
That's one happy rhino.
I've experienced many game drives in my years of travel.
And we have hippos.
Enough to pick up a few animal calls that I got to practice with Chris, my guide at Singita.
It's a black-headed oriole. Look at that. What can you do?
I can do a monkey.
Okay, I can do hippo.
What a hippo?
Yeah, hippo. And I'm tapping in safari style.
Every game drive, I think about how important are travelers to the lives of these animals.
This makes you happy, right, seeing a rhino?
Yeah, it makes me happy. Mainly rhino now because they're endangered species. So the more tourism grows, the more we get people that will protect the animals.
On a stop in Kruger National Park, at one of our favorite game reserves, Singita, the sun was up early, and so was I to embrace it. We then made our way to Singita Airstrip and boarded our plane to fly to a secret location. It took us through the magnificent Blythe River Canyon. Just stunning. The journey continued with a wild and winding ride, only to be greeted by Africa's most dangerous animal having a conversation with a human.
No! This is unbelievable.
But it's real.
Hello.
This is Care for Wild Africa, and it operates under the very caring direction of Petronel. Extreme conservationist Brahma Herbe invited me here to experience this.
I'm the thorn amongst the roses.
There we go, Brom.
And you know, Linda, if you think, how can someone possibly kill an animal as beautiful as this?
I was in awe to be able to interact with 3-month-old rhinos, but my heart ached for them.
They poach all these little ones' moms. They've been rescued and picked up by rangers in the Kruger, and then they've been flying in.
And they're being flown here way too often. The rhino population is being decimated just for their horns.
Which is actually a fingernail. Isn't it the same consistency?
Keratin.
What does it say of us as a generation if we can't save a species as big as this?
And what about this species, an antelope, victim of illegal hunting?
And then they come in with so much wounds. It's blood everywhere. But you mustn't be thrown like that.
Yeah.
You must work with the life inside. And if you work with that positive energy, that's how you pull them through. You work on
You
that.
are really an angel. Oh, she's so tapped in.
Even to rhino milk.
It's tasty to us, you know, it's tasty to them.
Oh, well, a shot of rhino milk. I don't know, I might prefer the Sauvignon Blanc here in South Africa.
Now a short drive down the road to the next eye-opening experience.
Okay? Oh, here, baby. Oh, my God.
Come here, who's...
This is the black rhino. It's a happy moment, but a sad one because they're all orphans. It's happy because they have a chance.
Also, Linda, the black rhinos are critically endangered in the wild. Critically, there are less than 5,000 left. But the black rhino, you notice the lip is totally different.
Yeah.
Pointed lip.
Yes.
And these guys are like huge lawnmowers eating the grass.
They're just beautiful.
This year, deaths are exceeding the births, and that's a rapid downward spiral.
Which means in only a few years from now, the rhinoceros, like the dinosaur, will exist only in picture books, with people as a cause of their extinction.
Nature is the key to our sustainable futures. And the reason I walk barefoot is because symbolically we've lost our connection with the planet. And we need to rekindle that connection.
Okay.
Here we go.
Now I'm feeling one with the earth with you, Bram.
And Bram's goal is to get the world to rekindle their connection to the planet.
It's called the Dot Earth Challenge, an expedition for change. And we want everyone in the world, and particularly on your show, to tap into that app. It's for free. The goal, 1 billion people doing one thing for the planet.
And Bram is spanning the globe for it. Like he raised over $1 million for Operation Smile by running the Great Wall of China. And actress and activist Shannon Elizabeth joined me for the next feeding.
Okay, come stand with me.
And you're on a mission with Animal Avengers.
Avengers, yes. I'm over here seeing firsthand what's happening with the animals. If you take one species out of the whole chain, we will be affected. We are affected.
And I met volunteers here from all around the globe who are having a life-altering experience here at Care for Wild Africa. In fact, Ian was so inspired by the DOT Challenge that our one thing today is adopting Mungie.
It's not done. Here we go. There we go.
This is the circle of love right here. The circle
You won't
of love.
believe it. And that's where that aura that you create is of utmost importance. And these guys are very clever. They pick up on your auras. So if they allow us to form part of their lives, is that not the best thing ever? Is that not the happiest thing ever? We need to protect them.
The old story, you're an asset or a liability in the natural system. I just want to be an asset.
Oh, this is so wonderful. I don't want to leave. You inspire me.
We're saving an animal. That's what we do.
We're tapping in.
Coming up, a cheetah's best friend is a dog. Rescued raptors.
They like to prey on small impalas.
Did you say small impalas?
Yes.
A little bit of heaven before we get in sync with sea life and other wildlife.
Is there an echidna dance?
I know.
I'm tapping in.
Now for the big cat lovers, not far from beautiful Cape Town, South Africa. I had a chance to hobnob with some ambassadors. Although these have fur and spots.
What are you doing, Jojo?
This is Joseph, and he's one of the stars of Cheetah Outreach. And he's beautiful.
Because they built for the run. If you look at him, he's very light.
Oh, now he's going to relax.
Very lean. Joseph is the ambassador that teaches about his wild cousins and gets people to join us in our conservation work.
And judging by the purring, he must love it.
Cheetahs are only one of 3 big cats that purr. Any cat that can roar like a lion tiger can't purr.
And purring is always preferable when you're petting a big cat.
He does photo shoots, weddings.
But most importantly, Joseph is part of a program to help a cheetah population in crisis.
One of the main threats to cheetah, especially in South Africa, is that the free-roaming cheetah are living on farmland. The farmer sees predators as a threat. They are losing up to 30% of their livestock a year. It's your lion, your leopard, hyena, jackal, caracal, who hunt at night that are the issues.
Cheetah get the blame because they hunt during the day, when farmers can see them.
We're not going to solve the problem without solving the farmer's problem. Oh, hey, Jojo.
So in this case, a cat's best friend is a dog.
It's not a new way, it's a very ancient way. The Anatolian Shepherd is a Turkish breed of livestock guarding dog, and they've been using them for over 5,000 years to protect livestock against bears and wolves.
Mastiffs is almost as big as a bear.
I think it depends on the bear. They intimidate the predator, they don't just go out and attack.
Then the farmers don't kill the cheetahs.
Getting together and making the choices to save our environment.
It's just finding the way and then moving forward with it, and that's what you're doing.
Nothing is going to move forward unless people are involved.
This might be the happiest cheetah in the world.
For us all, everyone who's involved in Cheetah Outreach, it's a life choice and not a job.
Just up the road,
this is a happy moment.
Yes.
Oh, look!
I had playtime with little raptors.
Hold him like this. He won't bite you, don't be scared. Okay, oh, these ones are all rescued birds.
And some big ones.
Come and play with Linda. There we go.
Yeah.
Eagle Encounter is where injured, abandoned, or confiscated birds are rehabilitated, and many of them are released.
Wow!
This is also a very important place where they teach people to respect birds of prey, especially owls.
The reason why they're called spotted eagle owl is because they've got fully feathered legs, just like the true eagles.
Look at these guys.
They're all rescued birds.
They're dancing.
These are the famous dancing
This one's
owls.
got rhythm.
Yeah, they like swinging around. If you've got a barn owl.
A barn owl.
And this one is less than 2 weeks old. Now, in Africa, we are very superstitious when it comes to owls. Since owls are active during the night, we just think owls are evil. So if we see owls sitting in a tree during the day or sitting on a building during the day, people in Africa, we just try to kill these owls. My family, maybe since I'm working with owls, I've become a wizard or a witch. So my father was just trying to disown me. Then I was trying to explain to him they're actually beneficial to us because they control the rat and the rodent population for us.
You've been helping to change the superstition.
Yes.
And stop smugglers.
This is Goliath.
Yeah. And
Oh,
he's
it's
an
magnificent.
African. He's the martial eagle, and this is Africa's largest eagle. This bird was a black market bird. He was smuggled into Dubai, and he was brought here by Metro Police, and we've been looking after Goliath for the past 7 years.
And Goliath cannot be released because he has a human imprint.
They like to prey on the small impalas.
Did you say small impalas?
Yes, they are capable of killing small impalas when they're in the wild.
So, since we don't have an impala on hand, we'll release a smaller raptor.
Come on. This is Sky. So since we are a bird of prey rehabilitation center, I just don't give you food for free. I trained Sky, so we are the best of friends. Let me just cast here.
Sky is a very hungry jackal buzzard.
Off she goes.
And back she comes.
Come on.
But of all the raptors, there's nothing like this eagle encounter.
Oh, I'm holding an eagle. I love it.
And that's the point.
Now my father is now understanding. He now sees what I'm trying to do with the birds is actually a good thing because I'm trying to teach other people to try and conserve the birds of prey. If I just release it back into the wild, that makes me happy.
Up next, the human touch to save the tuskers with generations of Zulus that are kicking it. A wildlife comeback in California.
I've got your favorite animal here.
And other Aussie favorites.
I'm tapping in.
You can feel your soul smile when you see a herd of elephants in the wild. But here at Elephant Whispers, you have a chance to understand our connection to and through these rescued animals. Timbo, at 11 feet tall and 3,000 pounds, is still growing in his 30s. He was orphaned when his entire family was culled and he was left alone in the jungle as a child.
Oh, I think he wants some food in your pocket.
Now his playmate is the guy who rescued him, Andre.
Timbo had a troubled childhood, and now he's one of the happiest elephants in South Africa.
Absolutely. Now, with the human love and attention, he just loves to be around humans all the time.
And it's amazing that something this large is really such a gentle creature.
Very much so, yeah. You know, it's all a matter of trust. Be nice and gentle to them, don't hurt them.
And isn't that just how we should be with each other?
Absolutely.
In fact, elephants have more in common with humans than most of us know.
And also, if you stand them straight up in the air, he resembles a human.
That's very, very much so, yeah. Their body temperature is exactly the same as human, another thing that we've got in common. When they start getting warmer, they start flapping their ears. Steady, my boy. And you feel how hot it is? It's very, very warm in there. So once they start pumping their ears, flapping their ears like that, doesn't mean that they're charging.
He's just cooling off. Timbo has emotions like humans, but a larger tongue, which feels
There we go.
Oh my goodness.
the same as ours.
Very soft.
There we go.
And he talks.
Timbo, can you talk? Talk?
Elephant talk.
Talk?
Okay. Talk a bit louder, my boy.
Timbo understands over 150 commands. But when there's a tasty Amarillo tree around, the commands will have to wait.
He is tall.
Now I'll have a go.
Timbo, salute.
I want you as a teacher. You give the rewards before I've done the task.
Oh, I have to do it.
And for the hat trick,
Give it to Lazarus.
There we go. Okay, now he wants a reward for
Oh,
that.
you get a reward for that. There you go.
So don't forget, every time we make him do something or ask him to do something, he wants a reward for it.
Absolutely. Yes,
Thanks,
we
big guy.
definitely don't want to get stepped on. I'm going to miss this guy. I'm going to miss Timbo.
They make our day and they make us very happy, and hopefully we make them very, very happy. And we're
Timbo is lucky, but what about his relatives in the wild? In Zululand in South Africa, I made some fast friends at the watering hole.
Welcome. I'm Caroline. Welcome to Tanda Safari Lodge.
Gosh, this is beautiful.
And to quench our thirst, yummy drinks as we arrived at Tanda Nature Reserve, where we had a sizable welcome.
This is unbelievable, Pierre. You don't see many of these elephants with big
The big
tusks.
tuskers are slowly disappearing from Africa, Linda, because poachers have systematically killed them, and their progeny become ultimately toothless herds. We are so blessed to have a bull with such big tusks and to have him so close up at the lodge. We're in their natural habitat. We elevated so he's not threatened. We're not in his space.
But beyond this watering hole, they're very threatened. Private reserves like Tanda take significant steps to help endangered animals in the wild, including ones who like to cha-cha with our vehicle.
And there's such a small footprint of development and yet such a huge expanse of land. And that's what makes it very unique. So guests have an opportunity to really enjoy the wilderness and touch base with being out here close to nature, close to the animals, and also being able to reconnect with their souls. Life as we know it, it's an intrusion of every possible bit of electronic that buzzes in our ears, from phones, iPads, computers, televisions. You can't connect when there's distractions. You can't focus. You can't even focus on a relationship when there's distractions. It's being able to connect with something that's been here for generations.
And generations of Zulu women in colorful dresses connected me to their song.
But what we're trying to do is to expose guests to Zulu culture. It's something you can't experience anywhere else in the world.
And see kicks like this. Ian had a go.
Tanda means love. You come to Tanda and it's all love that you're going to feel.
Coming up,
You can see the size of it.
breeding dinosaurs in the Auckland Zoo.
They have a third eye on the top.
Loving crocs with the Irwins. And taking care of millions of species.
The Great Barrier Reef is the same size as Italy.
I'm tapping in. I'm tapping in.
I've got your favourite animal here. This is a beautiful wombat, and her name's Wattle. Isn't she cute?
Hello, Wattle.
They've got these amazing claws, and they use those to dig. They're kind of like the bulldozers of the bush. They can tell instantly when they love a person. You can see how calm she is. You're the
Aw.
wombat whisperer.
Oh, yeah. Well, I love wombats, but I don't think wombats are your favorite.
I am more of a reptile guy. I love crocodiles.
Author, photographer, and crocodile whisperer. Since he was little, Robert has joined his wildlife warrior family on their 450,000 acres of wilderness in Western Queensland. It's here they research, track, and help protect our oldest apex predator. And back at the Australia Zoo in the Crocoseo. As one star leaves the stage, the crowd prepares for another.
And we do have Linda Swain here today. We're really happy she's here filming the Adventurous Travel Show.
Not even close. Enter Monty, who doesn't seem to scare any of the Irwins. Through their research, the Irwins found that crocodiles can hold their breath underwater for 8 hours.
They are amazing. They've been on the planet for over 200 million years, and they're quite misunderstood. A lot of people think that they're, evil, ugly monsters, but they're not, because they're modern-day dinosaurs. They really are.
And a few hours' flight across the Pacific to Auckland, New Zealand, I got to hold the last living dinosaur, whose last relative died 60 million years ago, the tuatara.
Means spiny ridgeback. These guys aren't actually a lizard, so they're different. Top jawbone has 2 sets of teeth and the bottom is 1.
How long do they live?
So a tuatara can live over 150 years.
150 years?
Yeah, no one's really sure. They're around when the dinosaurs are around. So when they hatch out of the egg, they have a 3rd eye on the top.
Wow, so that's something that we all have a 3rd eye too, right?
Yeah. Something that will never be seen again in the world if we get lost.
Until about 200 years ago, New Zealand had no predators at all. Birds didn't even need to fly.
Predators have been brought in.
Yeah, we have a lot of mammalian predators, unfortunately, that have wreaked havoc.
No, not these predators, or these, which you can see here in the most beautiful habitats.
Tapping into the Auckland Zoo.
The Auckland Zoo is using their backbone to reach out to the world in conservation.
These are all native New Zealand plants.
Here we are in Te Wanui. It's 100% New Zealand plants that are living and thriving in this environment. We want to ensure that they thrive and survive into the future.
As well as the indigenous animals they're breeding here.
This is a Kia?
Yes, that's right. The only alpine parrot in the world. He's everyone's best friend if you have some food.
So a lot of the species that we breed here actually go on to offshore islands.
And when they mature, they're brought back to predator-controlled areas on the mainland.
So that they're big enough then to fight off the likes of rats and...
There's no rats in New Zealand. I didn't see any.
And because of the Auckland Zoo's efforts, the kiwi's national bird, the kiwi, has a future.
Biggest egg, and you can see the size of it.
It's like a dinosaur egg.
It's like giving birth to a 35-pound baby. That's crazy. So the chick is 18 days old today.
With feathers like fur and whiskers like cats.
They're called an honorary mammal.
And kiwi is the sound they make. And the Auckland Zoo even breeds big bugs that nurture the forest, like the giant wetapunga.
That is huge.
Yeah, or a giant weta.
It looks like a lobster, actually.
It does a little bit. They live way up high on the tops of the trees and drop lots of poo around, and that's really good for the health of the forest. They also pollinate flowers as they walk through and feed on them.
Well, Ben, I can tell you really love them because you have one on your leg.
So I have a tattoo of one on my leg.
Zoos internationally are actually the 3rd largest funder of conservation efforts around the world. We've got a really strong family of passionate people that are working to make a better future for wildlife.
I think the kiwi deserve tapping in.
Up next, once abandoned from overfishing, is now a playground for wildlife.
Oh my gosh!
Seeing the largest living organism and the path of a wildlife warrior.
After Dad passed away, it was really quite scary.
On the west coast of the United States, the late author John Steinbeck would not recognize the cannery row he made famous, the weedy lots, junk heaps, sardine canneries of corrugated iron he described, a town abandoned from overfishing, have been completely transformed into a beacon of light for 4 million people who visit the Monterey Coast in California each year. And it started with this guy.
When my dad died, when I was just a young man, I read the will. He left me the whole world to make a living in.
Ted Balistreri, CEO of Cannery Row Company, built the stuff that dreams are made of as an impeccably dressed son of immigrants.
Usually a statue has a rifle or a sword, but you've got a deck of cards.
A deck of cards, cigars was kind of how I got started.
It was the camaraderie of a card game and a dream of owning a restaurant in 1968, the now famous Sardine Factory that transformed an entire town.
Look at this.
You don't know how these buildings look. They all collapsed when we bought them. It's just nothing but deserted canneries, all crumbled. But we had one ingredient, Linda, one ingredient that's very important today: love.
Love.
We love the customer, we love the area, we love the people.
We love it.
So the first people I fell in love with here are the owners of Adventures by the Sea, Michelle and Frank Knight.
We work, but we make fun. Out of there, that's my...
Who started this whole thing?
Me. Bye.
With 5 locations, over 150 kayaks, more bikes, and we'll get to these.
And you are steering this.
Oh, okay.
Adventure is definitely big in Cannery Row.
We have the best coastal bike ride. And then, you know...
If I do say so myself.
So to test that theory, Frank had to show me the best bike ride.
Look, whales!
Right there.
Oh my gosh, it's fantastic.
They get the bait ball all in one big, tight ball, and then they work him up. He was coming up and engulfing as much as he could. You know, everyone's happy when there's food in the bay. You know?
Hey, I'm happy.
Look, you just did it again.
Oh my gosh, that's fantastic.
That was amazing.
That's so cool.
There's a pupping beach over there. That's why it is fenced off over there, because if you scare the harbor seals off the beach, sometimes the pups will get separated and they won't find their mom and no one accepts them back.
So this is man and nature working together.
Totally, yeah.
Revitalizing a community and building a tourist destination, but putting wildlife first.
I mean, to go from Fisherman's Wharf, Cannery Row, into Pebble Beach, all the way, Cypress Point, lone cypress tree, most photographed tree in the world. By far, this is the best.
Or is the best taking a spin around Cannery Row in a Surrey with Michelle.
You know, Cannery Row is like a movie set.
You know, it totally is. And it's funny, right now it's all before the hubbub, because there's the delivery trucks and everyone's sort of scrambling to get ready for the day. But when you look at it, it does feel like you're at Universal Studios.
Cannery Row has happiness in the can.
That's it.
And in the sea. The hotels here accommodate sea life.
Seeing the wildlife, seeing the natural beauty. I'm told there are whales in the bay. I've never seen any myself, but you've seen them.
I've seen them. As soon as I got here, I saw them.
This opening is one of the things that the Monterey Bay National Marine Sanctuary have requested, to provide sunlight down to the intertidal areas.
I know you haven't seen the whales yet.
I have not seen a whale myself.
But birds swim underwater in Cannery Row.
I apparently have led a very sheltered life.
See,
there we
see?
go. Ah, okay. I can check. Oh, there's another one. I can check that off the list. So just looking for a whale now.
He would be out there.
So we realized that Cannery Row had something, a charm, a mystique.
So I rose early to take advantage of this mystical place and the piano in my room, and looked up to see the sunrise over Cannery Row. I thought the sun came up on the East Coast, not in Cannery Row. Then I went for a run and tried to imagine how many sardines in this bay it would take to line a whole town with canneries. Until I met Michelle on the beach. The moment we put our kayaks in the water, I've never experienced anything like it.
I mean, look at that. We can walk on it.
A smorgasbord under the sea, and even on the beach.
Wow. Cannery Row is unbelievable.
And not just thousands of birds flying in for the feast, but otters, sea lions.
That's a harbor seal.
And dogs. Must be a fish eater. So many species of wildlife and vegetation thriving once again. Then we beached our kayaks for paddleboards. I glided on the shiny sea, and Michelle did yoga.
There we go.
So I left Michelle in her zen space and hitched a ride with Frank back to the marina. Hey there. Then a quick stop to see what was happening under our kayaks without getting wet at the Monterey Bay Aquarium, one of the best in the world, and a window into the sea that we're about to explore. Coming up, diving with the experts.
How many dives have you done, Haley? 5,000?
Who keep the reef intact.
Show off.
And the power behind the mission.
It really wasn't until we lost Steve.
Promotional considerations paid for by the following. So my quest to see our planet thriving landed me back at the beginning of our journey, in Australia on an island in the middle of the Great Barrier Reef. It's here where hundreds of thousands of species of wildlife live harmoniously and dynamically. The Great Barrier Reef is one of the 7 natural wonders of the world that can be seen from space. And a wondrous place to experience it is the one and only Hayman Island. It's a gem in the middle of the magnificent Whitsunday Islands. And the welcoming committee is almost as cute as these little guys. And it's here on the beach where I met up with Haley, the resident marine biologist, before our adventure under the sea.
It's going to be beautiful, colourful coral, lots of fish, might even see some turtles and some reef sharks.
Sharks?
Just reef sharks. So the Great Barrier Reef is the same size as Italy.
Really?
Absolutely. So it's 70 million soccer fields long.
70 million soccer fields, or 1,600 miles along the coast of Queensland.
So there's a lot of bad press about the Great Barrier Reef, but it really is thriving.
It is thriving. So 1 million species call the Great Barrier Reef home every year, whether or not they're sitting on it, swimming on it, just passing through. There's a stingray.
Even in ankle-deep water. There's so much life at your fingertips.
My mind has been blown about the animals that live on the Great Barrier Reef.
Okay, I'm ready to have my mind blown, Haley.
All right, cool. Let's go exploring. Go diving!
So what better way to see the Great Barrier Reef than on a great big boat?
And this is our ride?
I know, it's pretty exciting.
Morning and welcome aboard the Osprey for your day trip out to the Great Barrier Reef today.
Ah, thanks, this is
I'm your
beautiful.
skipper.
Captain Mitch and his crew gave me a warm Aussie welcome.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, I'm Lauren.
Here we go.
Our dive spot is on the outer reef.
An excellent day for it, that's for sure.
Our journey takes us by just some of the 900 islands inside the largest living organism on Earth. And when the weather turned, we were the only ones making waves inside the protection of the reef. Now time to prepare our fish signals.
Definitely some turtles, clownfish, potato cods. Potato.
10% of the world's fish species live on the Great Barrier Reef. But we'll go over the hand signals for just a few. And as for who's the expert here,
How many dives have you done, Haley?
5,000?
5,000.
5,000.
Show off.
well, I'm in good hands with Haley. We moored off the reef so as not to disturb it. And now for that mind-blowing experience. It's estimated that the Great Barrier Reef is 20 million years old, and it has the most colorful menagerie of living creatures. Hey there! Follow that turtle. Deeper and deeper we go, and at 50 feet below, we put on our show. And some of our audience flipped over it. This is too cool for school.
It is absolutely thriving. So there's a lot of conservation approaches and protocols going on right now. For example, we're starting in primary schools. So we're teaching the kids how to recycle more. A lot of approaches in the agriculture industries. We're reducing their toxic output from their waste. But don't touch any things on the reef when we go out snorkeling, diving, paddleboarding, sailing.
Or taking a spin on a sea bob.
Sea bobs for everybody!
So much easier than paddling.
I just don't know why Little Mermaid wanted to leave the ocean.
Nor did I.
Back at the Australia Zoo, the iconic Aussie takes center stage.
And they can jump up to about 10 meters in one jump, which is a really, really long way.
These guys.
Yeah.
And we get to do really interesting research, like can you have kangaroos and cattle? And we've learned these guys aren't a problem at all. And I love them so much. Robert.
Your mom and dad decided they were going to do filming and taping, and it was successful, and they were making money. Guess what they did?
They donated it all back to wildlife conservation.
Absolutely. And, you know, it was kind of a running joke for about 4 years. We didn't make any money.
and putting funds back into protecting land and expanding the zoo and doing the conservation work, it's so rewarding for us that it almost feels kind of selfish. Hey, little turkey.
Don't worry, you're not going to be eaten for Thanksgiving here because it is Australia.
You are safe.
And you're
The
the Australian
turkey.
The animals are always the center of it all.
And so when you donate some money to Wildlife Warriors, it all goes to help the animals.
Your soul purpose brings you joy and challenges. So what would you say is your soul purpose?
You know, I've always felt that my soul purpose was kind of being Steve's helpmate.
Australia Zoo's history is happening right now.
I would say to him, sometimes I wish I was just as strong as you, even for a day. And he said to me, you know, there's different kinds of strengths. And it really wasn't until we lost Steve that I realized it's so true.
After Dad passed away, it was really quite scary, but his strength is still so a part of us.
This is my girl.
I think that we all try to change the world, but we forget that you have to find balance from within.
Find what you're passionate about and then dedicate time, funds, whatever you have to making positive change, and then we'll be okay. If everybody does something, we'll be good. But if you throw your hands up and say it's too big and do nothing, that's when we're in trouble.
So you happen to have two power players around you. One spiritually now and one right over there.
Exactly.
Who's going to make sure you brush your teeth tonight.
We're just continuing the family tradition.
All right, Dad. More adventures for Bindi. Hi, I'm Linda Swain. Tell us how you or your community are tapping into happiness.
Visit us at tappinginshow.com.
I'll see you. I'll see you in your happy place.
And we're tapping in. Crikey!
I missed.
Is there an echidna dance?
I know, I think there should be.
We can't be this
We're not
good-looking
jumpers. We're
and
huggers. We're huggers.
coordinated.
Oh, the echidna dance.
Waddle?
We've got a waddle.
Australia Zoo. They're so happy.
I'm taking a trip to
Crikey!
How'd I do?
That was awesome. Well done. I'm very impressed.
I'm tapping